Hello? What's up, everyone? You guys have been chatting away, but I have a lot to get to. So let's get it going. Let's get it going. What's up, everyone? I see Audra's here. I see one of my wrenches. Hi, Audra. Hi, everyone. David, Lorraine, Mary, Berlin, Afton, Robinson, CS, Michael. Hey, everybody. Hey, Serenity. I'm shot out of a cannon. Let's do this. I got a lot. I got to talk about these Biden assault allegations, the DNC, which is quite blatantly protecting him, and what Drumpf is doing right now vis-a-vis Ms. Coco, and how what he's doing is actually worse than nothing. Because up to this point, I've been like, well, his non-response, he's not doing anything. But I was talking with one of my friends, and I was just like, you know what? Actually, what he's doing is worse than doing nothing. So I will get to that. Now, I've already linked it in the description box, but Katie Halper, she's got a podcast. She posted a podcast 2 days ago where she interviews Tara Reid, not to be confused with Tara Reid, the actress. Hi, Akila. Welcome. Thank you for the super chat. This Tara Reid spells it differently, and she was a former aide to the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden. She claims that Biden touched her inappropriately in the 90s when she was one of his staffers. Now, first of all, this story is not new, and Reid is not the only woman who has accused Biden of getting handsy. I even talked about this in my Biden video, which was a couple weeks ago. More than half a dozen women have said that he has made inappropriate contact with them or made them feel uncomfortable in some way. Furthermore, Reid tried to step forward about this before, only to be discredited in really ridiculous ways, and she even got doxxed. So when people always say things like, well, why didn't she come forward before? This was all the way back in, I believe it was 1993. Why didn't she say something before? When victims come forward years and years later after being assaulted, this is why. I think they accused her of being a Russian spy or something crazy. Again, she got doxxed. And even with her, realizing these risks, she tried to come forward only for people to prove her right. Reid also tried to get the support of Time's Up, the organization Time's Up, which is behind the Me Too movement. She tried to get their support back in January of this year, January 2020. And they basically said no, they wouldn't help her because they were afraid of being stripped of their tax exempt status if they were aligned with her. Okay. Now, again, all of the fuckwits who victim shame when there's been a considerable time lapse between the actual incident and when this person is actually coming forward with their story, y'all can miss me with that because this is the kind of shit that happens. Okay. The story is basically being buried. It's not being reported, certainly not by the major news outlets. And this is a major story. So why the major news outlets are not covering it, I would say it's a mystery, but it is not. I actually heard about this podcast from my boy D'Angelo. Or just Angelo, actually, because his IG handle is Angelo, but I think his name is just Angelo. And he is based in Austria, I believe. He's not even American. He was the one to put me on game to this podcast. He's not even American. And I did see a YouTube video today, which I have not had time to watch because I've been running around. Well, not running around. I've been at home all day, but been busy. But the Rational National, he also did a video touching on this story, or probably doing a deep dive, because I saw the video. I think it was a live actually, but it was like an hour long. And the Rational National, I think his name is David, he's Canadian. Are you seeing a pattern here? The people talking about this technically have no skin in this game. An Austrian and a Canadian are the people who I see reporting on this. No one in this country that I am in, America. Long story short, the DNC is corrupt. I mean, I've been saying this since I started openly talking about politics and since I first came out as a Bernie bro. The story is being suppressed, much like this very live stream probably will be suppressed. And it's all to protect Biden and his precious momentum. Now that they have so many mindless people buying into this idea that Bernie can't win and therefore Biden is the answer. Again, that is nonsense. But if you keep saying a lie, people start to believe it. It's like this crazy approval rating, quote unquote, for Drumpf that has gone up, where he's at over 50% approval rating. I don't believe that. You can keep saying it. I don't believe it. But if you keep saying it, people will start to believe it, because people usually are quite gullible if they don't have even an ounce of, just critical thinking skills, which is sadly in very short supply these days. What a shit show this election is going to be if the DNC gets what they want. I said this in my video that I did right after the debate between Biden and Bernie. Hillary was a fucking warm-up. Drumpf will annihilate Biden. It's going to be a murder scene. Drumpf's entire strategy with his politics and campaigning in general, his entire strategy is bullying and humiliation. And the amount of fodder that Joe Biden gives him is essentially endless. From his garbage record to the fact that he's legitimately unfit mentally. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Meanwhile, Biden, who was on a fucking milk carton this entire crisis regarding Miss Coco, where the fuck was he? He finally showed up like 3 days ago, and he, honestly, he should have stayed gone. He should have stayed on that milk carton, frankly, because it was even more bizarre and alarming than anything SNL could have put together. Just wow. If you haven't seen the video, I'm at a point where I'm starting to feel the same way about Biden supporters as I do about Trump supporters, for real. Like, I'm starting to feel like, I feel like this is a bad dream that I can't wake up from, honestly. Furthermore, the fact that the DNC didn't mandate that all the remaining primaries that are going to go down while we're in the middle of a pandemic, the fact that the DNC isn't mandating that these primaries be postponed until we have better clarity on everything that's going on with Ms. Coco, the Ilnana, whatever you want to call it, that just is another thing that proves how corrupt they are. In fact, they're even threatening punitive action against the states that are postponing the primaries on their own, might I say, very wise volition. Of course, the correct and smart thing to do is to postpone the primaries. This is a serious situation we're in. You shouldn't be expecting people to gather en masse in polling places. And the fact that the DNC is threatening states that don't postpone their primaries with punitive action, the fix is in. The fact that Biden has this momentum from all the lies and the propaganda that the DNC is feeding to mindless people to just do what they're told, vote blue no matter who think that there's some merit in being a proud Democrat. Spoiler alert, there isn't. Biden, the only reason Biden has this momentum is because the DNC's treachery is working. That's it. That's why Biden has momentum. They didn't force the postponement. Oh my God, I'm getting tongue-tied. They didn't force the postponement of the primaries in the name of public health and safety, which is what they should have done. And they went ahead and they want to continue to put the public at risk by not closing polling places, which is also another version of voter suppression. I mean, it's just voter suppression by any other name. It's still the same thing. Because what person wants to risk being at a polling place right now? Luckily, some states are setting up mail-in versions of ballots right now, because, I mean, I was lucky that, one, my state votes on Super Tuesday, and B of all, I also was already registered to vote by mail. But I don't know what I would do if I still had my primary and I were expected to go out and vote. That's high risk. That's high risk. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And I'm happy to see that some states are postponing their primary elections on their own. Connecticut, I believe, Georgia, Alaska, and some others, like I said, are either postponing and or switching into vote by mail for everyone across the board. It's just, the DNC got no creep to them. No creep. None whatsoever. I'd say the whole system is fucked, but it's not fucked. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. But let's not dwell on that unpleasantness, because we have more unpleasantness. And that is namely Drumpf who is basically turning his daily briefings into his pep rallies as if he were campaigning. The problem with that is he'll say things, and then the actual medical experts and doctors will speak after him, and they're literally like, actually opposite, literally opposite of everything he just said. Again, as I said at the top, the things that Drumpf is doing and not doing, like, are, I don't know, English. It's worse than doing nothing, because he is spreading wrong information. Okay. And I talked to my mom today, and she apparently was talking to my grandmother, her mother. And she was just like, well, at least Trump is giving people hope. This is my grandmother talking, who's in her 80s. And I'm like, it's a good thing I wasn't on that conversation, because I got no patience. Generational divides aside, at least he's giving people hope. He's giving people lies. And it makes me crazy when I see these tactics working, when I see people falling for it. It's just like, how do you not see this? He's telling people that things will be better by Easter. They definitely will not be, particularly since there is no exit strategy for this situation. I've talked about this as well. The worst thing about all of this stay at home, stay for at home thing, is the uncertainty. Because even though some of us are fine, I'm able to at least do some of my job at home because I'm a writer. I do YouTube videos. I got a few different ways that I can still try to earn in this. There's people who are losing their jobs. They're losing their health insurance. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck. So what nest egg do we have? What are we supposed to do? Not to mention situations where people might be isolating, quarantined with their abusers. Maybe you are in isolation with a significant other, a parent, a sibling, someone who abuses you. This is not a way to live, and with no exit strategy, because realistically, there's no way out of this until we have, I would say, I'm not a scientist, but we would need most people, and like by far mostly, like 90% of people, to be able to be tested, isolated, and treated before we can actually start resuming normalcy. Otherwise, it's just going to keep, that curve ain't flattening. It's not going anywhere. So it ain't good. It ain't good. The numbers are ticking up. That's right, Toby. And on top of that, hey, Alexis, hey, Christine, we officially have the most cases worldwide. Now, this is not per capita. We also are a pretty big country. We have way more people than Italy and Spain, who are really fucked. I haven't looked at the numbers for them today, but I was looking at the numbers, I believe, yesterday. And it's basically a 10% mortality rate in Italy and Spain. Now, granted, Italy has the second highest elderly population in the world, and the elderly are one of the most at-risk groups. But we're having teenagers die now. We've had that happen. Had our first teenager die from this. This is a serious situation. And it's unfortunate because it can be used to create diversions from other treachery and things that are going on behind the scenes. But the fact of the matter is, we need to take it seriously, even in the face of all of these weird conspiracies and whatever that might also be going on in tandem. Yeah, Alexis, Italy reporting deaths left and right. Yeah, Lisa, we are a bigger country, and our healthcare system can't handle it because we basically don't have a healthcare system. I cannot believe that anyone would oppose Medicare for all. And Biden, I believe, said that he would veto it, even if it came to the point where he would be in a position to do that. Again, the Biden support, I don't understand, and it is becoming cleaved to the same way I feel about Drumpf supporters. Y'all can miss me. Y'all can miss me with that. People with no insurance have died. Exactly. 020 CT Marie, Connecticut Marie, I'm guessing. Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at someone who doesn't have health insurance. I just have to hope I don't get sick on a regular day. So this has definitely been a scary situation because even though I'm not in the at-risk age population, I'm only 59. I'm not in my 60s yet. So I'm not in the at-risk population. It's still scary because we're not impervious just because we're younger. Alexis, I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall. Like, why would anyone be against a single payer healthcare for all system? I don't understand. William Brooks, I have given some thought to that. The idea that Biden is actually winning these primaries, I wouldn't be surprised if that's bullshit. Election fraud is nothing new in this country. There goes my monetization, but that's how I feel. Oh, the CT's for your initials. That's funny. This is going super fast, you guys. I'm trying to read all y'all, but y'all talking. Ricky V, I lied. I'm not 59. I'm actually in my late 70s. Get the pitchforks. Biden is basically a Republican in a blue tie. That's what Biden is. And he doesn't even have his fucking marbles, so he doesn't even know where he is. I don't know what that is, Sid J, but thank you. It sounds like it sounds like you think I would be a good guest somewhere. Sugar Coma, I do like the Young Turks. They're great. Christine, I always think it's funny to lie up about my age because people are like, the sad thing is how often people believe me. I'll be like, oh, I'm 53. They're like, you are? I'm like, I know, I look good. Pilates. He literally looks like a 24-year-old. I don't know about all that. I'm definitely on the wrong side of 29. Audra, do you know how to slow the chat down? Because I don't. Someone asked me if I could. I don't know how. Courtney, let me show your message because it needs to be seen. Biden ain't shit. Luvia Rain, you need to be seen as well. Yeah, you guys keep saying the fuck word and then you get your message gets quarantined. And if I don't see it, I won't be able to let it through. Sorry, guys. How do I do slow mode? It doesn't even, like if I click on the little hamburger is what they call it in tech. I only know this because my best friend's an Uber engineer. But it just has participants, pop out chat, and toggle timestamp. It doesn't have anything. Anyway, that was kind of what I wanted to get off my chest. I'm just so heated that because when this Biden story, when it came across my newsfeed, it didn't come across my newsfeed. Angelo DM'd it to me on Instagram. So shout out to Angelo if he's watching. I keep thinking D'Angelo Wallace, but it's Angelo. Completely different person. I was just, look at this thing, by the way, you guys. I bought this from Ulta, like on a complete impulse, this little like heart stamp, just because I like hearts. And then after I got it, I found out apparently like e-girls wear these. I don't even know what an e-girl is. And I'm damn sure too old to be one. But I still like it. I think it's cute. I have a thing with hearts. I actually have a weird, like, it's not a freckle. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. But I have this weird thing on my arm. It's like a perfect heart shape. It's like vitiligo. It's like no pigment. It's always there. And it's like, it's very blurry, but it's a perfect heart shape. So I have a thing with hearts. Anyway, thank you, Haley. Oh, they're definitely going to suppress this. So I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, I was, when this Biden story came out, and because I know how corrupt this is. Oh, Ebony's here. What's up, my girl? Yes. Spot on as always, Ebony. We're an undeveloped country with developed money. 100%. That's why we have people in fucking cages and people dying because they can't afford to see a doctor or they're too afraid to see a doctor. Audra, don't get me started on that stimulus, aka bribe. Give me a fucking break. Sorry. They calling me. Oh, Biden. One more point before we move on to something a little bit more pleasant, because I have two things I want to share with you guys that are going to be nice and fun, hopefully. In fact, one of which means I have to be gone by like 6:30 or so. My time. I don't know what time it is where you all are. So Biden. This story, one, it's being suppressed. If it had been Bernie, wouldn't be the case. We know this. Even if it had been Drumpf, wouldn't be the case. But it's being suppressed because the DNC has their tentacles out and they're protecting Biden. But even with it coming out, it probably wouldn't matter because A, of all, corruption, voter fraud, election fraud, all of this. B, of all, remember grab him by the pussy? Oh, thank you, Christine. I like pink. I don't know what you're talking about. Whose name is Ebony? I was talking to someone named Ebony who's here in our chat, Ebony Higgins Green. She's brilliant. I love her. We stand. Remember grab him by the pussy? Isn't that quite the transition? What a segue. If that wasn't enough to end Drumpf's run, I don't know what would be. Certainly not this thing with Biden, because in terms of smoking gun, we are more or less in a he said, she said situation. And Biden is fucking incoherent, so who knows what the fuck he's going to say. And it won't matter. But we also know that we are in a society where people love to blame victims and discredit women. So this probably wouldn't matter anyway, even if it weren't being suppressed. And that really grinds my gears. Ebony, you give me hope for the next generation because I know you're younger than me. And I love you. I love having you in our nap fam. And that's on period. So, on to happier things. The reason I need to jump by like 6:30 or so is my friend DJ Shirak. I told you guys about her in my last two lives. In less than an hour at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram, she is going live. She's doing an at-home dance party. So I've got a heart out because I am going to be there. I won't be able to do like the dual screen with her because we talked about doing that, and that feature is just super unstable on Instagram. I don't even know why they offer it because it barely works, especially I think when music is being played, it seems to be even more unstable. And every other person I've seen try to do it, where one person is like DJing and they try to let someone else join on their live, it crashes the whole live. But you guys will see me in the chat and we can just kind of talk and enjoy and dance and stuff in our homes. And I just don't want to miss it because she's so good. I mean, she is my friend, but she's also like one of my favorite DJs. We were going to try to do the simul stream, but like I said, it barely works. So I'll just see y'all in the chat. Thank you, Shannon. That's really nice of you. Thank you for the super chat. And I mentioned her doing these at-home dance parties last week before I even heard about D-Nice's like come up, because he has really blown up. He's done, I think, one or two even since like the big one when like J-Lo was in there and Michelle Obama and whatnot. But Essence, DJ Shirak, my friend, her IG is already linked below in the description box. And if you want to join in on her at-home dance party, please consider donating. Please consider tipping the DJ. Her Venmo is also below if you have Venmo, because us gig workers, you know, she's a gig worker, I'm a gig worker, we're on hard times. If you are able to spare and just show some appreciation, if you're going to be joining on our dance party, she would definitely appreciate it. And I would say that this is the counterculture Instagram at-home dance party. This isn't about blue check marks in the chat and chasing clout. This is for us. As a matter of fact, Talib Kweli, who is on my Mount Rushmore of MCs, he's live right now. I was a little salty. I was just like on IG, putting up a quick video to let people know that I was coming live here on YouTube. And I saw that Kweli was live again. He's spinning nothing but mad Madlib. He's done 3 in a row now. He's doing this one that's going on right now. He did one last night, and he did one the night before that. The first one was all lyrics focused. So he was focusing on the GOATs in terms of pen game of hip hop. And it was just like all-time great verses. And I was getting my entire life. Last night's was all 90s hip hop, where he essentially hypothesized and, in my opinion, proved, although it was confirmation bias for me because I already agree, that the 90s is the golden age, the best era of hip hop, period, with a T. He was playing Black Star, obviously, Gangstar, Tribe, Teacher KRS-One, Big L, the list goes on. I fucking loved it. It was great. I almost cried. And you guys, Kweli, at the end of the set last night, he said to watch out for the new Black Star album, like toward the end, like, yo, I almost fainted. New Black Star, some 20 years later, probably worth the wait. So I got my entire life, and it actually makes me sad that we probably won't even have things like this where you can just pop on Instagram and see, in my case with Kweli, one of your all-time favorites and idols just spinning live DJ sets for like 3 hours, like post Coco. I don't think we're going to have stuff like this. So even though this is not an ideal time, I feel like there's so much like wonderful new ways of connecting and so much more exploration of different creative outlets coming out of it for a lot of people. But who knows whenever the hell it's going to be that we come out of this. I mean, real talk, there is no exit strategy. Not right now, not with this current fucking moron in office we have right now. Whoops, our lives. Thank you, Ben Riley. Bailout thoughts. I touched on this already. It's a bribe. I think it's fucking bullshit. Thank you for the super chat, though. It's bullshit. I liked Bernie's take on it. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I can't remember where it was. If it was on YouTube or Instagram where or maybe it was his newsletter. I think it was a newsletter where he kind of went through what was good and what was bad about it. And I agreed, as usual. Thank you, Tisha. So yeah, tonight, DJ She-Rock, 7 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow, there's going to be another one with another friend of mine, which I'll get to in a moment. I'm happy for D-Nice and his come up. Because like obviously we're small potatoes, DJ She-Rock and everyone else who's just sort of like doing this from our living rooms and whatnot. But I just love the dance parties that I'm seeing going on where it's not for Halle Berry and Naomi Campbell, where it's for us, because whenever it's these celebrity ones like D-Nice, and again, like I don't want to rain on his parade because I'm happy that he's had all of this growth and exposure, but when I'm watching those and, Michelle Obama or Halle Berry or somebody turns up in the chat, it's just all about them. It's not about us, it's just human nature, I think, for most people to want to look at the famous person and, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Hey, please say hi to me. Please call me out. Please shout me out. And it's just like, guys, you're just as important as this famous person. Why are you so thirsty? Like, relax. I don't know. So anyway, Kweli's were different. I feel like it was like the perfect mix where it was completely about hip hop and hip hop lovers just being together. Like I saw a lot of the same people in the chat both nights in a row. Zero star fucking. Moni Love was in there. I mean, she's a hip hop icon, but there was zero star fucking. Just, it was about being together and loving the music. Just, that's it. I mean, again, zero star fucking. So tomorrow, Saturday, I may go live again. It really just depends on how like energetic I feel, to be honest, because I did have to take a bit of a breather this week. I was so like balls to the wall. Like I got to put out content for my Patreon. I got to put out content for you guys here on YouTube. And I've been loving doing that. But I think just between that and needing to do my normal shit in my life, like the actual work I have to do and chores, laundry and shit, I was a little tired. So yesterday was like a day to catch my breath finally. But tomorrow, the DG, also a friend of mine, also happens to be doing a 90s hip-hop night dance party on Instagram. Coincidence. We set this up, or at least we talked about this and decided to do it before we knew Kweli was going to do one last night. But who cares? I could do a 90s hip-hop night every night of my life and still be perfectly happy as a clam. Thank you, Megan Noodle Sue. I will keep it up. I will. And plus, our 90s hip hop night will have a Ray Ray and maybe his dog Fiona. Ray Ray's like asleep on the far end of the couch. She's just like, I'm not getting up. Sorry, guys. No Ray Ray cameo right now. She's just giving me the look like, you better leave me alone. Dave and I'm sorry, the DG. His real life name is Dave. I hope I don't know if I shouldn't have said that, but sorry, the DG. We did a test last night on Instagram, and we of course had tech issues as anticipated. Instagram needs a serious product update because that feature sucks, you guys. Like, don't offer features that don't work. You feel me? But we're going to try to both be on his on video. However, be sure to follow him, not just like expecting it to be on my page, because if there is a technical issue, he's the DJ. So he's going to be the one actually spinning where we're going to be able to hear the music and dance and talk and stuff. So worst case scenario, follow him and you guys will see me in the chat, if not in like the stacked video where like he's in one window and then I'm beneath, or other way around, whatever. We're both going to try to be on it, but as I said, just follow him. He's already linked in the description box, just like DJ Shirak, because if and when we do have problems, it's just going to be on his page. And he also has a Venmo if you want to tip the DJ. Info for that is already below as well. Thank you. Hey, Casey, welcome to your first live. We're happy to have you. Thank you for the super chat. And again, DG is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific. Follow him on Instagram. I mean, if you aren't already following me, you are probably never going to. But if you actually want the at-home dance party, his is linked. And as is his Venmo. Well, it's not linked, but it's listed, his Venmo. And that is it. Oh, thanks, Ben. The bill was a Hobson choice or catch-22. Bernie voted against it. Yes, I completely agree. And it's sort of the better than nothing, you know. I mean, I feel like even though Bernie wanted something that would have been a lot more substantial, and I think the how will you ever pay for it, like that sect of people, like they don't understand how the economy is going to suffer because we're suffering. If we can't pay our rent, if we can't pay for food, how the fuck do you think we're going to spend money on frivolous shit? People need money, you know? Like it's, I don't know. I don't even want to like get super back into politics because I finally like blew off that steam. But I think the idea that keeping people poor is the way to revive the economy is completely back asswards. People need healthcare. They need, and another thing Trump was saying about like trying to get people back to work as soon as possible, that's just going to start everything all over again. Any slow in the transmission that we may have seen, which I would really doubt based on the shit I'm seeing coming out of Elmhurst and Queens, since New York is sort of like the patient zero, so to speak, for our country. I mean, it's delusion. It's utter delusion. Anyway, back to more positive things, dance party. I do want to share something with you guys that I shared with my Patreon fam. We had a live earlier this week on Monday. And this has been going around the social medias, I'm sure it's been on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but I've seen it on Instagram a couple times. It is a little poem from Kitty O'Meara. And I really loved it because as someone who has bemoaned social media repeatedly, seeing how it can actually be used for good, how it can be used in the best ways instead of the worst. I mean, it's too bad it took a pandemic for that start to happen en masse, but I still am encouraged by seeing the ways that at least some people are responding to this crisis. Yeah. Ben, I mean, we saw how well trickle-down economics worked for Reagan. Anyway, without losing sight of what is literally a life and death situation, I am trying to find and able to find some positives in all of this, and not least of all, Instagram dance parties. And all the other ways that we're finding ways to come together. Thank you, The Flea. Biden supporters, I mean, I talked about this already, the flea. Biden supporters are becoming one and the same in my mind as Drumpf ones. You're all wrong. You're all wrong. I cannot understand being a Biden supporter. Like, there's just no argument to be made there. What is wrong with you? So anyway, Colored Beautiful, who is if you ever like watched like natural hair videos from the OG days of YouTube, you will know Colored Beautiful. She was one of my favorites. She basically doesn't really post anymore, but I still follow her on Instagram. And she actually followed me maybe a month or two ago, and I damn near fainted. She posted this. Many other people have. It's from Kitty O'Meara. And it says this. It's a little poem, which I think helps to contextualize what we're all experiencing right now in a more positive way. Let me take a little tootie toot because I'm getting dry. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows. And the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed. That is how I like to contextualize everything that's happening with Miss Coco. Right, Arnold? I love that. Kelly's here. What's up, my girl? Oh, and Isabel, too. You guys made it. Haley Nicole, I agree. The people on the right are our opponents. The people in the center are our enemies. I agree with neither of y'all. It's like, you want Coke or Pepsi? The answer is they're both fucking disgusting, which is what I actually believe. I hate both Coke and Pepsi. In any event, oh, hey, soybeans. What's up, my girl? Oh, hi, Leroy. Lots of our friends out tonight. Bite-sized budget, it is literally the only question people ask me. And I wonder why people are so pressed on like one person's vote. I'm going to get into my feelings on that actually in part 2 of my parasocialism discussion, which I wanted to film yesterday, but I couldn't. I didn't feel up to it. In any event, it doesn't matter if I vote for Biden because he will win my state. I'm in California. I'm not in a swing state. He will win my state if he is the nominee regardless, which alleviates a lot of pressure off of me on an emotional level because ethically, I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could hold my nose and vote blue no matter who, because that's just obeying the DNC, which, as I've covered at length today and previously actually in other videos, is corrupt and no better than the GOP. So I'm not entertaining that until I have to. We are in the primary, and that's what I'm focused on. This ain't over till it's over. That's my answer. Oh, Christine, I'm glad. I'm glad. I mean, that's why I've been trying to do more lives because I know a lot of people are feeling lonely and isolated, and it brings you down. I'm so grateful that I'm not falling into a dark place mentally because I've been in those places, and anything that helps, like even if it's just a dumb video or a little live stream, I'm happy that it helps that we can be together. Hey, Leroy, thank you for that super chat. That's sweet. Lika, you will never vote for Biden. Yeah, completely agree. Not to mention all of his former opponents in the primary before they dropped out because they were fucking worthless and not viable. All of a sudden, they're endorsing him when they had nothing nice to say about him before. All of you guys believe in nothing. The Biden supporters, the vote blue no matter who. I can't imagine walking through life not believing in anything. I don't know what that's like. I don't relate. Yeah, D, that's a huge thing. Voter shaming, and I've been getting a ton of that under my videos. Like people don't seem to understand that I'm aware of like where we are in our fucking political process, and it's the primary. And now is the time to actually seize an opportunity to nominate someone we fucking believe in. And people are saying that I'm being irresponsible, and they're saying things like, "Nope, enjoy 4 more years of Trump." It's just like blocked. You don't get it. You don't get it. If you think that supporting Bernie means that I want 4 more years of Trump, you're too stupid for me to even begin to reason with you. We're not doing it. Exactly, Jen. See, I don't envy you being in that position because I understand that. That is a reasonable position to have. Like, you're in a swing state, but now is your opportunity to do everything you can to rail against Biden being in that position so that you're not put in that position. Kelly, I love you too. Yeah, Haley. Exactly. I thought he was racist and now you're endorsing him? The fuck? Lord. Biden is what guarantees 4 more years of Trump, not Bernie. They have it back asswards. It's making me crazy. But yeah, you guys, we're 40 minutes in. I want to make sure you guys have a little bit of time to maybe refresh your adult beverages, grab a snack, maybe walk your dogs if you have one like me before I see you guys in DJ She-Rock's dance party on Instagram if you have it. Thank you, Ben. When is socially unacceptable coming back? I don't know. I mean, my feeling has always been I want to support dissent as long as it's respectful on my channel, but I'm getting to a point where if you like are stumping for Biden, I can't support that because I drew my line with Trump from day none. Like that was never something I would entertain. Like if you're a Trump supporter, that's one area where it's just like you're done, blocked. But I cannot understand anyone reasonable making an argument for Biden when we're still in a position where it doesn't have to be him and it shouldn't be him. Anyone who's perpetuating that rhetoric that he's the guy, that is irresponsible, not me. Thank you, Amy. Oh, Jaleesa, you're new. Welcome to the family and welcome to my first live with you in it. Isabel, I'm doing home workouts now because I have to. My gym's been closed since, well, I think we're officially on day 8 of my gym being like forcibly closed. So I did my home workout today. It was a 30-minute AMRAP of 10 push-ups, 20 weighted step-ups with 20 pounds. You can use a rucksack or a backpack. I just held a dumbbell. And then the third movement was 30 squats, also weighted with either your rucksack or backpack. I, again, just used the dumbbell. I feel like I passed away. It was horrible. Like, don't be fooled. You can get amazing workouts at home. Yeah, Isabel, I'm not surprised to hear that. I'm lucky because I used to work out at home only anyway, so I've always had quite a lot of home equipment. I mean, I feel like a total clown because I sold my pull-up rig literally a week before everything started happening with Miss Coco. So I used to have like a full-on pull-up rig and ab station, which you would have seen in my Peach Plan 2 review because up to that point I was still working out exclusively at home. So all the clips of me testing out those workouts are here in this apartment. But yeah, I sold it. And then a week later, I was just like, oh, could have used that. But I didn't think I needed it because I always just work out at my gym nowadays, but not right now. Yeah, I agree, Ben. I care about policy substance. I care about fucking ethics and track record. Bernie has the track record to back it up. I mean, he doesn't go around bragging about being arrested for protesting segregation because that would be fucking gross. But I can bet you your bottom dollar that if Biden had actually done one thing correct in his entire career, we would never hear the end of it. Instead, he just has to lie about his voting history and his past, which is another way to go. Anita Hill, Arnold. Period. I mean, I mentioned her in both of my videos about this primary. Anita fucking Hill, dude. Still waiting on that apology. Apparently, she has a running joke with her family where anytime the doorbell rings, someone will be like, oh, maybe it's Joe Biden finally coming to apologize. Sick. Sick. Exactly, Alexis. Bernie, like, you can check. Like, he's been embracing unpopular, super, super liberal policies and super progressive policies before it was trendy, before it was okay to embrace these kinds of policies. He has always been that guy since day none. And again, not perfect. Bernie's not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect candidate. But he is by far the most exciting candidate and the one I'm most proud to be able to even vote for that I've seen in my life thus far, at least certainly since I've been of voting age. Easy. No contest. And yes, that includes Obama. Arnold, I don't know. I don't know how this is so clear to me and still so confusing to so many people. It's mystifying. Exactly, Mike. Bernie is not perfect, but Biden is literally a disaster. Like, literally. I know people overuse that word, but he is literally a disaster. Yeah, Serenity, Bernie is more focused on class politics than race ones, but I do think that he understands the plight of Black people. It's just that he's more focused on uplifting all poor people, which tends to be a lot of people of color, doesn't it? Hi, VDE. Ah, Uruguay. Well, welcome. Happy to have you in the family. Serenity, to be fair, both words are overused, honestly, but literally. It's one of those words where people use literally when they literally mean figuratively. They're like, I am literally on fire right now, figuratively. But Biden is literally a disaster. Gary, quite frankly, I wish Bernie would stop calling himself a democratic socialist because that isn't what he is. At least policy-wise, he's a social democrat. And if anything, he's scaring people off because people are too stupid to do their own research. He's not a socialist. He's just not. But that's where we get this bizarre, incorrect rhetoric of commie Bernie, which ultimately hurts him because, again, people think in very binary ways and they're like, commie, that's bad. And instead of actually researching what his policies are, they're just like, nah, he's a crazy commie. He can't win. They vote against their own interests because they're too stupid and lazy to do the research. Ben, I think some of us deserve him. I think some of us deserve him. And he is also the president we need. Coco. I don't know the last time, like, anytime I even see a link to Fox News in my news feed, I just don't even click it. I don't want to give them one click, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. The least Biden can do is go with a progressive VP. Biden will do whatever his donors tell him to do. Mighty Mouse, even still, checks and balances. That's another thing that people get completely out of whack. Even when, because I'm putting this out there, even when we vote Bernie in, he can't just like rewrite our entire government from the jump. Like, balances of power are in place for a reason. It's one of the only reasons that this company, isn't that the Freudian slip? This country isn't completely fucked because at least some of Drumpf's efforts to destroy it have been thwarted through checks and balances. Kelly, dislike Biden is the kindest way to put it. That is the kindest dislike. Yes, I too dislike Biden. Yeah, who knows, Dominique? Who knows? I'm still trying not to even give life to the idea that Biden will be the nominee. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, it's pretty much over. Get over it. Like some dipshit actually said that in the comments under one of my videos. He was just like, Bernie lost. Get over it. I was just like, I'm going to make the videos I want. Get over it. Then, of course, he came back like, hamina, 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 sorry. I was just saying. It's always the trolls like who you call out and then you don't block them. And then they come back shucking and jiving because they knew, hat in hand, because they knew they had no business talking at me at the side of their necks. I'm not the one. Hi, Jasmine. Welcome to the chat and goodbye. Since you're just popping in, thank you for joining. This, Lars, Trump will eat Biden for lunch. Yes, Ebony, exactly. Bernie is the beginning. Like, that's all it is. It's just, we need that first step. Yeah. Yeah, Angela. Plenty of people have died from Miss Coco because of no health insurance. And it's not just this. I mean, it's diseases every day. Kelly, I usually do pretty well with maintaining my composure. Like, I'm not a yeller. I come from a family of yellers, so like I don't really like raise my voice. I use my words, and I got a lot of them. I've devoted my life to them. Thank you, Low Def. Okay, you guys, it's 6:22, so I think I'm gonna jump, but I'm going to refill, take the DOG, and I will see you guys on Instagram on DJ She-Rocks Live, and then I'm hoping to go live again tomorrow because I really enjoyed doing our Saturday Night Lives, but I just felt it on my spirit. I had to talk about these Joe Biden accusations today because I really feel like this is a bad dream that I can't wake up from. Like, you guys, it's not over. Like, we have to mobilize. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to mobilize. Anyway, link to She-Rocks IG is in the description box. I've said many times, please consider donating to her. Tip your DJ via Venmo if you can afford it, and only if you can afford it. And I hope to see you guys there in the chat. And then tomorrow, I'm hoping to do another Saturday Night Live with you guys because I love you guys. I love talking to you. Hopefully we can keep things more positive. Hopefully I won't have to rant about this corrupt, broken political, well, no, again, not broken. It's doing what it was designed to do. But you guys give me strength. You guys give me strength because it helps me feel like I'm not crazy because you guys understand what's right and what's wrong. Tomorrow, the DG, also in the description box, 8 p.m. Pacific on Instagram Live. 90s hip hop all night. All right, I love you guys. I will see you soon. And before I go, my mom just texted me and I wanted to read this to you guys. She said, never trust anyone with a Morphe code. It's kind of weird.